This is from the Daily Mail. An investigation from Cap Radio and NPR's California newsroom found that Gavin Newsom failed to deliver on the promise of an executive order that he signed on his first day in office back in January 2019, aimed at revamping the state's wildfire strategy. He was accused of misrepresenting his accomplishments and even pulling much-needed funds out of wildfire prevention. They found that Newsom overstated by an astounding 690% the number of acres treated with fuel breaks and prescribed burns in the areas that he said needed to be prioritized. Newsom claimed that 35 priority projects, as he put it, carried out as a result of his 2019 executive order resulted in fire prevention work across 90,000 acres of land. But the state's own data showed the actual number was 11,399, or some 7 times less. The amount of burnable fuel that CAL FIRE was removing from the land increased in Newsom's first year, but then dropped by half in 2020. At the same time, he slashed some $150 million from CAL FIRE's wildfire budget. And those who survived the blaze told outlets they felt betrayed by Newsom and other officials, claiming he was more interested in photo ops than saving homes and businesses from the blazes. One man who lost his home in 2017 says it's a total deception. With all the fire danger that we've experienced year after year after year, you'd think it would be a higher priority to make sure that all of this area is treated as much as possible. End of quote. My guest is John Kelly Walker. He is the founder of Freedom Talk and Freedom Talk Magazine. Also worked extensively with state and federal forestry. His name is John Kelly Walker. John, we were talking about the water shortages here in California. Is this also preventable?
It is, and this is all tied together. I was just thinking Leslie Weldon is, or was perhaps, I haven't checked on it lately, but Deputy Chief of the U.S. Forest Service, and she came out to tour a project with members from Washington, D.C. of the USDA. And in short, this is what we won a Smokey Bear Award for. We were taking the forest trimmings, the wood chips, the brush trimmings, and that type of thing, and composting them with biosolids that were processed in the community. And then we took this organic matter and we would use it for restoration, including on wildfire areas. So now, unfortunately, this problem is going to be exacerbated because these severely burned areas, you're going to see, instead of the water percolating down into the soil, it's going to run off, you're going to have mudslides. And what we really need to do is take a watershed approach, the watershed being everything in a basin from the mountaintops down to sea level, and really make sure the soils are healthy, the plants are healthy. Unfortunately, what I see them doing in California is focusing on things that I think are peripheral, like banning gasoline cars. Look, if somebody's worried about sequestering carbon, we did that in Sun River. I mean, there are ways to do that. There are huge carbon sinks in the environment. So we're neglecting some of the things that need to be done and diverted by things that really are not the cause nor the solution to the problem.
What about the large public utility? PG&E have been accused of putting money in their pockets rather than spending more money to put power lines, for example, underground. Is there anything to that argument?
Well, the whole watersheds approach has to do with water quality, water quantity, and some of the power companies are required to do projects that are good for the environment, that are going to help with that management. I haven't heard about that specific problem. I have done some work for electric companies, hydrothermal companies, and that type of thing. But yeah, they need to be delivering on what they say they're going to do.
Well, one of the pushbacks I've heard from the utility people is that people like Gavin Newsom and others have put pressure on them to put more and more of their money into renewables, like wind and solar, and taking money out of our pocket that we otherwise would use to bury these power lines underground.
Yeah, we have to take a whole ecosystems approach, and sometimes, engineers and others will come up with ideas that really don't work well. And not to slam engineers, but you need a multidisciplinary team with biologists, with soil scientists, like I have been, and say what's really going to work. We have to work with nature, not against it. And we see with wind power, for example, we have bird mortalities, we have costs and waste from these giant windmill towers. We even have out in New Jersey reports of this killing whales. we have to take everything into account, but we have to do it in a skilled manner. We can't have ideologues and people who think they know about the environment but don't have the training running it. So yes, buried power lines, that could obviously, that has good repercussions if we're able to do that. But
Kelly
again,
John, just 20 seconds. We don't know how these fires started yet, do we?
I hadn't heard yet. Oftentimes it's lightning. It can be human caused. It could be a combination of factors.
Mm-hmm. Kelly John Walker, thank you very much for the time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, Larry.
You got it. 888-971-SAGE. Thanks for watching these clips from The Larry Elder Show. If you enjoyed this content, be sure to subscribe to my channel and hit the bell icon so you never miss a moment. More thought-provoking discussions are just a click away, so stay tuned, and we'll see you in the next one.